Right now, there is a ton of uncertainty in the world. That can make it really hard to go through your day to day lives, much less continue to create. Abby Rike is here to help you figure out how to live your life and continue moving forward.
We're navigating uncharted territories. I think from my own experiences, what I've learned though is we're never going to control our circumstances. Never. Even when we think we are, we're not. And so, really, the only thing that we can do is control how we respond to it.
Hey there, I'm Jason Logston, and this is Makin. We're all about helping you serve your fans, grow your income, and get the most out of your blog. In my recent podcast interview that I did with Abby Rike, we had a really interesting discussion about how you can handle times of uncertainty. When we recorded this, the corona pandemic was in full effect. Events were getting canceled, schools, restaurants, and businesses were all getting shut down, and people didn't know what to expect. So we wanted to talk about what you can do during times like this when everything is uncertain, how you can keep creating and how you can keep moving forward. And I wanted to share that with you today. So I definitely want to dive into how people can craft their personal narratives, because I think that is critical. But right now we're in the midst of this kind of shared narrative as a world, really, with the coronavirus epidemic going on. And there's a ton of uncertainty in people's lives. How do you think people can continue to function, much less create, when there's so much uncertainty?
I mean, that's a great question. I think anybody that's coming out as though they are the expert and they know what they should be doing right now, I'm always, cautious and leery of that. We're navigating uncharted territories. I think from my own experiences, what I've learned though is we're never going to control our circumstances. Never. Even when we think we are, we're not. And so really the only thing that we can do is control how we respond to it. I think you have to give yourself some grace. If you're quarantined and you're trying to re-navigate and re-figure things out, that's okay. Nobody has this figured out. But then at some point, it comes down to choosing that you can look at this as a really unique opportunity, that you're at home, you have extra time, and that you can get super creative in a way that you may not have had that time or space to really do.
Especially most people have their families around. If you have a spouse or children, there's a lot more going on. And I think, like you're saying, it might not be getting to normal, but can you do more kid recipes? Can you work your family into things because they're there and you might not have these opportunities otherwise? And you could also kind of keep them entertained while still getting some work done, maybe.
Sure. I think it's just going to be refiguring out that schedule and being really, really flexible.
I think one thing bloggers have trouble reconciling during uncertain times is, a lot of our recipes, intros to them with like, every time I make this recipe, it's, bright sunshine in my life and makes me so happy. And it's true. But at this time, people are scared out there. Some people are suffering. I think they have a hard time, thinking, how can I write about happy things when the world has a lot of unhappiness in it right now?
But isn't that the case all the time? I mean, in all honesty, it's not rainbows and sunshine. And I think the more real we are with our people, the more that they connect and respond, or at least the people that are really our people. I mean, I think that coming up with ideas where this is the food that I make when I need a comfort meal, I think would be a great thing to do. And so, I think that there are different angles that you can explore those different stories that you have, that this is where I find comfort, or this is a great way to get the kids involved. This is the best meal for encouraging help in the kitchen and things that kids can do. I think it's just putting a different outlook on it so that you can make it real to the times that we are facing, because I'm all about being hopeful and positive, but at the same time, you've got to have a little bit of reality in there too, an acknowledgement that this time is pretty scary and uncertain, but it doesn't mean it has to paralyze us.
I think that's a really good point of how you can kind of look at your content and structure it still in a way that's authentic to you, but say, I'm nervous right now, and here's what I make when I'm nervous, or I'm scared right now, so I did make this recipe, which always makes me happy when I make it, and maybe it'll make you happy now for the half hour that you're working on it instead of worrying about what's out there.
1,000,000%, 1,000,000%. And especially with the food prep, I think it's such a prime opportunity for food bloggers in that you can really showcase those recipes with these are the 3 ingredient or 5 ingredient recipes that you have in your pantry right now, or how to make a mismatch of finding all the things that are frozen in your freezer and making it into this wonderful soup that will stretch for days. Or obviously I'm not a chef. I'm not going to pretend to be that. In my mind, that's what I think would make a lot of sense for food bloggers.
Yeah, I think it's a really good way to kind of look at like what are people searching for now, what type of information. You have these, these staples in your pantry, most likely. Here's a fun creative thing you can do with it, or here's how you can put spins on this that will bring you a little bit of joy, or even here's a hard recipe to do using general kitchen staples, because we know right now you have time to spend 3 hours on a recipe because you don't have work and you don't have errands. So why don't you tackle something that's a little more challenging for you?
Oh, I think that's a brilliant idea.
And I think one thing that bloggers tend to forget is we focus so much on the recipes of, here's a recipe and a dish that's going to taste great, which is important. But I think we forget sometimes that we're also entertainment for a lot of people, that a lot of people read our recipes and don't actually make them, but we kind of take them away and it's a nice fiction that they can turn to. And I think during times like this, it's even better to have those type of, intros and recipe head notes to get people away from just the following the news and kind of get back to some things that make you feel normal.
Right. And I mean, how much fun would it be to do if you've never gone live or done videos, because people are so desperate for something right now, just a cooking in the kitchen with you right now. And I think the whole thing is that the whole perfectionism thing, because I might struggle with that just a little, but during this time to really shed that and just do some things that are really just fun and just a glimpse into your life, because who cares if your kids are running around screaming in the background, because at home they're doing the same thing. And it just makes you more relatable. And when people can see your face and hear your voice, they could care less if you're stumbling a little bit. Nobody wants this. Today we are going to, nobody wants that. They want to just see normal and real, and just adding some of that, like you said, some fun during this pretty serious time.
One thing we talked about on a mastermind group that I'm in with some other bloggers is do a live cooking, but instead of doing, here's how I do this and step them through it, do, hey, let's have a cooking party. Everyone get on. Here's the ingredients you'll need. Let's all cook this together. We'll have our kids around, and it'll be a big group chat with people spread across, the country. And those are things that would be really hard to do during a normal time because everyone has different schedules. But now people are looking for that type of escape from their current situation.
1,000,000%, and especially with the social distancing, it can be a very isolating and lonely time. And so one of my friends, I heard her say that her girls had a virtual play date with one of their friends. And so this would just be like a virtual food prep time. I love that idea so much.
And I think your point too of people are so worried about when you're putting out new content or videos for the first time that you have to be perfect. And right now you have the built-in excuse like, oh, this would be perfect, obviously, but, we are quarantined, so my whole family's here, so you get what you get. And you don't have to stress about it being perfect. You can just ship it out there and get in front of people.
Oh, and I think just having the pressure, especially I know with food bloggers, the lighting and the photography and plating it so perfectly. And right now, no one cares. No one cares. And so there is so much freedom in this. And that's where I talk about thinking about opportunities of ways to just really authentically connect with your people in a way that it's pretty unprecedented, like you said, that people don't have the time. Their schedules are all different, but with everybody pretty much staying at home, then it is just this really unique opportunity to really get to know your people.
I think people here, it's a unique time to grow your brand, and you could connect with people, and people feel a little bad about that, like not wanting to take advantage. But I think it's the perfect time that you're providing even more of a service to these people. They need an escape. They need someone to remind them that, like, you're not alone in this. We're all in this together.
I think that if anybody's thinking like in that realm of I don't want to take advantage of, then I think you're not. And like you said, there's no better time that when people need a cure. And so the cure is entertainment and fun and light and laughter and all of those things, that it's the best gift you can give your audience.
Part of being a successful blogger is taking care of yourself. If you want some great ideas on how to do that, you should check out this video. It's going to give you a lot of information on how you can ensure that you're taken care of so you can keep doing your best work.